TechNet. Anyone wanting to check in, please call now.
This is Kilo Foxtrot 4, Delta Uniform Sierra, KF4 to US, Horsetooth Mike.
This is Kilo Echo Zero, Lima Charlie Kilo, you're on the mic for Windsor.
This is Kilo Echo Zero, Charlie Papa Romeo, Mark in Loveland.
This is KI5EEV, south of Denver at the moment.
Good evening. Got KF4DUS, KE0LCK, KE0CPR, KI5EEV. Anyone else wanting to check in tonight's TechNet, please call now.
Whiskey 2, Mike, India, Charlie, Mark in Loveland.
Break.
Hey in there, Mark. Someone call break.
Kilo Golf 6, Tango Delta Bravo, mobile. Am I making the machine?
Yes, you are. Making nearly full quieting, a little bit of static. Not much. Completely readable.
Thanks for letting me test and get in, gentlemen. KG6, Tango Delta Bravo.
This is November 0, Echo Mike Papa, Greg in Fort Collins with Debbie, Kilo 0, Delta Bravo Echo.
Okay, we got KG6, TDB, N0EMP, K0DBE. Had someone else in there. Else I got was a Charlie. There's a lot of static. I don't know if you can try bumping the power up or moving a little bit. Sound like you might have been mobile. Try again.
Whiskey 0, Uniform Sierra Charlie, John in Bellevue.
Okay, made it in there a lot better that time. A little bit of static. W0 USC. Kilo Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo. Tonight's net controller for the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club TechNet. Anyone else wanting to check in, please call now.
This is Alpha Echo Zero, Charlie Foxtrot, Ben, Fort Collins.
Hey, guy in there, Ben. We'll start off, seeing if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask TechNet this evening, or move on to a topic. Anyone, any questions? Please call now.
Totally dead batteries for the question.
TDB, go ahead.
Yeah, a friend, Kerry, Kerry, used to run this net. Is he still running it sometimes?
He is not. I don't know if anyone else might have any idea of his whereabouts or if he's around. Anyone know anything?
This is N0WIQ. My name is Kerry, K-E-R-R-Y.
Nice to hear you out there, Kerry. This is Jay, KG6 Tango Delta Bravo. I was just curious. I'll pass it back to net control. Thanks for chiming in.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that, Gary. Didn't click in my mind who he was referring to. But anyone else have any questions for the TechNet? Please call now. Hear nothing. Move on to a topic. The topic I was thinking about during the day today just kind of came up with field day coming up here in a couple weeks. Was what new people to field day should be expecting and planning for. This year will technically be my first year actually participating in field day, so I'm one of the new people that, well, I have a good idea what to expect, not really sure of what to plan for completely. I know it was brought up in the club meeting a couple weeks ago with the presentation on some stuff. We're going to get into a little bit more in-depth of what people are using and what they have found that works best for the new people to try and plan for. Anyone have any comments they'd like to start with?
LCK.
LCK, Mike, go ahead.
I've had the good fortune to be able to do what I've done the last two, and they're my only two because I haven't been in the group that long, but nonetheless, I found that the very first one I was ready to go, and my goal for myself personally was to get as many contacts and points that I could. I was using low power and digital and did fairly well. Break. That year, I got blown out of the water by Radio Dan. So the second year, I thought, well, yeah, you can score some points, but you're not going to be able to beat a lot of the people, even with the advantages you get of the low power and stuff like that. So the second year, I said, okay, I'm going to make some contacts, but I'm going to be able to go around and see what other people are doing and be a little more social and to see how they do different things. And that was a lot more enjoyable. One more time. This particular year, unfortunately, we have some out-of-town guests coming in, and they scheduled this months and months and months ago. And as I went to book it in, I go, uh-oh, so I'm not going to be able to make it this year. But the point being, you can have a lot of fun, you can make rodeo contacts, you can learn a lot at the same time. This particular location is wide open. Pretty much any kind of antenna you can think of, you can bring with you and set it up. So I just prepare for a lot of different options. But most of all, like I said, I learned it's not about making the quantity of contacts and numbers. So back to you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mike. Yeah, I've been torn and going back and forth. I have all kind of been getting stuff ready. Have multiple antennas to try and use in different configurations, but then I'll go through and start saying, well, maybe I should just spend this first time out with going out to a group for field day is just kind of wander around, see what everyone else is using and doing, and do some more learning. You know, there's always room to learn more. I'm not really set up for the extreme long distance contacts. I mean, I do have verticals and NVIS antennas and some sloping wires and a portable dipole, but it's limited on power in first year. Want to make sure it's enjoyable. Anyone have any questions for field day, or want to talk about what they use and their experiences with it? Call now.
KI5 EEV.
EEV, go ahead.
I've been licensed, I guess, for a couple months now, so this will be my first field day. Is there a field day physical event in Fort Collins? And also, the only thing I have is FM HTs. So what would you recommend that I do to participate the best?
Yeah, I know the club, we're not necessarily in Fort Collins, we're outside Fort Collins up in Nunn in a big field. If you go to the website, www.ncarc.net, it's on the front page, give you a location and time and that, and the contact for Steve, the guy that's organizing it for the field that we use. I'd say just to participate, you probably won't be able to do much with an HT, but going up there, learn a lot from a lot of people, and sure people will be willing to let you try their radio. If you're just recently licensed and only have a technician class, it'd be a good place to try some HF and see how that goes, so you can look forward to upgrading your license if you haven't already to a general and get on some HF frequencies. Anyone have any comments they'd like to add to it?
US.
Horsetooth Mike, go ahead.
KF4 to US. But whether or not he has a general class license yet or not, he'll still be able to operate under the supervision of a general or extra that just happens to be there, and they'll be using a protocol sign W0UPS. So he'll be able to try some radios out. He doesn't have to have his own.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good place to get exposure to HF bands if you're just getting into it. But yeah, I'd definitely recommend going up, even if it's just for a couple hours, talk to some people and learn some stuff. I know for me, I've been playing with HF, different modes, and getting into digital stuff. It can get, at first could get expensive and very daunting trying to figure stuff out on my own, until I started talking with some other people to kind of guide me in the direction that I needed to go. There's a lot of options, and figuring out what you want to do and what you want to try is a big part of that. Let the repeater reset. That give you a little bit of information, EEV?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. Yeah, I've got some friends down in Texas that maybe in that case I could borrow someone else's HF gear and try to make contact with them.
Yeah, definitely. So just head up there, talk to people, and get exposure to it, and try out some radios. I'm sure there's going to be multiple different radios, and see which one you like best, which catches your eye the most before you spend the money to buy one. This is Kilo Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. I know I'll be up there debating if I want to take a couple different radios or take my Go Box radios. I do have HF capabilities with the Yaesu 857 and 2 meter, 70 centimeters, so go up there with one radio, or if I want to actually pull my base radio up there and set that up. I'm planning on going full emergency power with battery bank and solar panels, so should be interesting. Anyone have any comments or questions they would like to share about their experience with field days or what they're looking forward to? Please call now.
This is W0ASP, Terry in Berthoud, with a question.
ASP Terry, go ahead with your question.
Not participated in a field day. I have a question about the rules. Does it count if you're a battery or a mobile station and you contact a fixed base of operation station?
I could find it if I look it up. I haven't memorized the rules. Anyone know offhand what if that would help towards the count?
DUS.
DUS, go ahead.
Okay, for DUS. Whatever your station is, whether it's battery power, emergency power, commercial power, that's what your points are based on. It doesn't matter who else you contact, it's what your station counts toward. You get more points if you're on battery power or generator power, and less points if you're fixed commercial power, and that's the way it goes.
Thank you for that, Terry, or Mike. That's what I thought it was. I didn't want to quote it without being sure. Like, answer your question, Terry?
Yes, thank you. So I know that if I do fire up the radio and make some contacts, I will not be wasting the other people's time.
Yeah, that's always a good thing to consider. Everyone's out there to have fun, and test the capabilities of their equipment. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Please call now. Yeah, I have hear nothing. Bring something up as far when it comes to setting up an antenna. What do people find easiest to use for setting up, whether it's a end-fed long wire or an NVES antenna? What would be best? If you temporary use, aluminum poles, fiberglass. Obviously fiberglass would probably be the best, but start dealing with types of mounting and supports. What should the new person try and obtain or borrow for the event?
N0 EMP.
EMP, Greg, go ahead.
If you're going to be in a big open field and you've got at least about 120 feet in one direction and 60 feet in the other direction, one antenna that I like, you use any kind of support mast you can come up with about 30 feet high. I've used PVC pipe with couplers, and I've also used the camouflage netting masts. But you want to get up actually 16 to 30 feet, anywhere between about 16 and 30 feet high. You run a coax cable to the top of that. At the top you have two inverted V dipoles that are 90 degrees to each other. So you have a 80 meter dipole running one direction, inverted V dipole, and you have a 40 meter running the other way, tied together at the top at one feed point with the coax. On each band, one will be low impedance, the other will be high impedance, so you don't have to have any kind of switching or anything like that at the top. The inverted V elements act as guy lines. At the end of them, you put an insulator and you put a few feet of nylon rope or bungee cord or tie-down strap or anything else, and then you anchor them with anything handy like cinder blocks, rocks, buckets of sand, buckets of water, whatever you have, tree stumps, vehicles, anything. And that, with a tuner, you can easily tune that antenna to 80, 40, 20, and 10. And it's a good NVES antenna on 80 and 40, and also works, like I said, on 20 and 10, although we don't really have 10 meters this time of the solar cycle. N0 EMP.
Yeah, thanks for that, Greg. It gives me another idea for trying stuff. I know I have a couple end-fed wire antennas that the one's about 63 feet and the other one's 126 feet, so I might try setting something up in that configuration just to try it out. Like I said, I have a couple store-bought antennas that I've done some small tests with at home. I want to get out in the field and be able to do more testing with it that will give me a baseline, and then a couple home-built antennas. That way I can see how they perform compared to ones that are store-bought. Kind of been working on building different types of antennas and trying different things. So, thanks. This is Kilo Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo, net control for this evening's Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club TechNet. Anyone else have any questions or comments they would like to share? Please call now.
To check in, use 0 ASP with a comment.
ASP Terry, hold on a second. Sound like there was someone there with for a late check-in. There's the station trying to check in. Please try again.
Zero, November, Yankee, Bart and Evans, good evening.
Evening, Bart. Okay, Terry, ASP, go ahead with your question.
Greg's comment about 10 meters and even 6 meters, I would have to remind everybody that this is the beginning of sporadic E-season with the thunderstorms that are coming in here in the Front Range. The sporadic E activity has turned on, so propagation on 10 and 6 meters is possible if the conditions are right, and they are being right quite frequently in the last several days or week or so. So do not give up on those frequencies. When they are open, they are lots of fun. W0ASP.
Zero WIQ with a comment.
WIQ, Carrie, go ahead.
I've never participated in a field day, and I'm just visiting, but some of them are sponsored by clubs, put together a pretty good show. And the LRA down here in Loveland used to have a field day pretty good because there was a lot of amateurs who had some experience. And also they had about a 30-foot tower that they can put up and down in the whole process. So it's just one of those things that depends on how well sponsored by the club you are going to. They might have some different things to talk about or set up. So that's my comment.
Thanks for the comment, Gary. Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's when club-sponsored events and events put on by clubs, even if they're not really sponsored, just organized, tend to be a little bit bigger. I know I was going back and forth between going to out to Nunn with the club or heading up. I've even considered heading up into the mountains and going up some trails. I know I can get up to about 10,500 feet to a nice wide open flat field and setting up to see what I can do up at elevation. But decided with it being the first year that I'm actually going to participate in field day, heading out to Nunn with a group of people and learn some more stuff. Anyone else have any questions or comments for the TechNet? Call now.
Kilo Juliet 7 Alpha Echo Whiskey for late check-in.
I believe the suffix was Alpha Echo Whiskey. Got you checked in. Have that correct?
Roger that. It's the name here is Tim. I'm in Maple Falls, Washington. Call sign here one more time is Kilo Juliet 7 Alpha Echo Whiskey.
Got you in there, Tim. And I mean, as far as field day goes, I know I'm probably overthinking everything personally, but everyone else. I mean, even if you're, my hope is to go up there, try different things, and if having issues with one thing, there's going to be enough experienced people around to ask questions and help along the learning process of setting up HF and radio equipment out in the field. It's what everything's about, learning and seeing what you can do. This is Kilo Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo, net control for this evening's TechNet. Anyone have any questions in regards to field day or any questions in general? Please call now.
Kilo Zero Alpha Romeo Delta with a late check-in and a general clarification on, I've never really quite understood what field day is in general. What is the overall purpose? And maybe you answered it early and I'm just late.
Got you in there for the check-in. Field day is, from my understanding, it gives all amateur radio operators the chance to go out, whether it's in the field or at home, set up in your backyard, or even using your base station to test your equipment's abilities and what your capabilities are as an operator. Try and make as many contacts as you can, or just try and make the long distance contacts. It's a lot of people on the air at once, so you have a real good chance of making contacts, and you can learn the limitations of your equipment that you have. People that have participated in it more can probably give a little bit better explanation. Anyone want to comment on it?
NYY.
NYY, Bart, go ahead.
It is a 24-hour period where hams around the world mostly go out and set up remote sites. Again, like you mentioned, a lot of people will do it at home. But basically, it's the contest portion of it is to try to make as many contacts around the world in that 24-hour period as you possibly can. Where the contacts are doesn't matter super much. How you make those contacts can affect how many points you get. There are people that are dedicated contesters that know every trick in the book to get more and more points and make more and more contacts and don't interrupt them when they're doing it because they really go after it. I'm more the other side of the fence where, to me, it's an opportunity to go camping and eat some steaks and, oh, by the way, we get to play with radios too. And there's everybody in between both of those. I believe the ARRL has rules posted and guidelines. You get extra points for different things using, emergency-only power, using alternative power. I'm not into the point system well enough to tell you, but there's a huge variety of things you can do, multipliers that you can take advantage of to increase your score if you're all about the score. But like I said, there's a huge spectrum of people, from campers that get to play radio to your heavy-duty contesters, getting people around the world that aren't normally on the radio because it's field day. N0NYY, back to net.
DUS.
Thanks for that. A little bit better explanation, Bart. DUS, go ahead.
KF4 DUS. 1 year, in particular, during the High Park fire, the club could not do field day because guess what? They were doing the real thing, and that's what field day is. Part of it is getting that experience and setting up on the fly in remote areas. And the club was, most of the club was involved in the High Park fire communications. So then that was the end result of people getting out and practicing during field day and bike races and stuff like that. But anyway, that's that was the end result. The club was doing the real thing that year.
Yeah, definitely. I know I'm looking at field day similar to Bart, the chance to go out and spend some time and play with radios and overall learn what my capabilities are and where I need to improve for the day that I actually need to use my skills for a real life scenario. I do a lot of communications for events and search and rescue team down Denver area, but it's always important to learn and practice what skills you have and expand on them. They give you a little bit of an explanation there, ARD.
Zero ARD, yes, it helps a lot. DXing, I'm guessing that we're talking about HF only or mostly, so that wouldn't really apply to technician class, but the field setup makes a lot of sense to me too in terms of practicing that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is going to be on HF. I know there are people that will be out there on the 2 meter and 70 centimeter on the weak signal contacts area of it. I mean, with them being mainly line of sight communications, it shortens the area, but can still be used. Might even be worth it. You go out there if you have a portable directional antenna for 2 meter, go out there and play around with it, or even go out if you don't have the equipment, go out and learn from other people and try their equipment on HF using the third-party communication rules. I mean, you can make contacts as long as there is someone licensed to be in control of it. Anyone else have any questions or comments in regards to field day?
N0WIQ, another comment.
WIQ, Carrie, go ahead.
It doesn't really matter what class of license you have. If there's a people affair in the field day party that have average higher license area, they might let you use their HF radio and third-party yeah. Anyway, you can, if you're in the presence of an advanced person, you can use their HF equipment if they'll let you and all that kind of stuff. Although you kind of want to be careful because the equipment is relatively expensive, so you might want to have some couching on how to be careful with it and all that kind of stuff. N0WIQ.
Zero ARD for the comment.
ARD, go ahead.
For that input, I do understand that I could operate equipment under the guidance or supervision of someone with a higher level license, and I do appreciate needing to be careful. I was just curious also, and I haven't looked, but is our club, NCARC, having, I heard Nunn mentioned several times, are we having a field day site in Nunn that low levels like me could go and participate and watch and learn?
Yes, the NCARC is having a field day event out in Nunn. I'm going to say it's a mile west or mile east of downtown Nunn, but there's a big field out there. If you go to the NCARC.net, it's right on the front page of the website. Tells a little bit about it and tells you exactly where it's at and who to contact if you want to go out there. And we are able to camp Friday night. Field day starts at 12 o'clock Saturday afternoon at lunchtime and goes until lunchtime Sunday morning. We do have permission, as long as we let them know who's camping, to camp Friday night and Saturday night, if that's something that interests you also. There's going to be quite a few people out there setting up, some people camping, some people go out there Saturday morning. But yeah, just go to the club's website and the information's there.
K08, thank you very much for that. I looked a couple weeks ago and I didn't see it, but I'll look again, and I appreciate that.
Hey, you're welcome. Yeah, Joe, they just got that put onto the website last week, I believe, so it is fairly new information on there. Anyone else have any questions or comments for this evening's TechNet? Please call now.
Zero ASP with a comment.
Terry, go ahead.
It is sporadic E season. I would inform the technician class license holders that they do have full privileges on 6 meters and some privileges on 10 meters. And don't ignore those, because when the propagation conditions are right, you can make long-distance contacts as a technician.
Yeah, definitely. I know one thing I've been toying around with and building an antenna for is doing satellite communication. And I might try it with sporadic E on 2 meter and 6 meter and 10 meter also. I'll have the portable Yagi for the dual band, and might put something together to where I can cover 6 meter and 10 meter. So I know one thing I want to try is the satellite communications as well, which might be something to try on field day.
U0 ASP. Hey, do satellite contacts count for field day contacts?
I am not 100% sure on that. Let me, I can look real quick, see if anyone else knows while I'm pulling up the rules and regulations for field day, see if it has on there. Yes, Rule 7.3.7, Satellite QSO, 100 bonus points for successfully completing at least one QSO via an amateur radio satellite during field day period. So, answer your question, yes.
Kindly, W0 ASP back to net.
Yeah, I mean, that's, there's a long list of rules if people want to get into it, and that's something that someone with technician license has full privileges to do. All satellites use 2 meter and 70 centimeter for the uplink and downlink. All you need is an HT and a small portable Yagi antenna for it, and you can communicate through satellites. But any other questions or comments for this evening's TechNet?
Thing with WIQ, you just spoke a lot about what I was going to talk about, was just using a directional antenna for satellite communications, because beam has more gain and all that kind of stuff. There are a number of antennas. I even saw one guy had a spiraled piece of aluminum tubing made it into a spiral that they could use as a beam also. But it's one of those things, you want to keep something that's relatively portable for field day, but on the other hand, you also want to give yourself the best chance to do what you want to do. Back to that.
Yeah, definitely something small, portable, and lightweight. I know for me, the antenna I put together for trying satellite, I used old TV antenna and used all the aluminum elements and everything to put it together. I have it tuned on 2 meter and working on getting the 70 centimeter portion of it tuned. But I mean, that's all collapsible, and it collapses down into about 1.5 feet long and about a 6-inch by 6-inch square. So it's definitely portable and easy to use. Just working on getting it tuned for the UHF side. But yeah, it's, from what I've read, and I haven't done any satellite communications yet, but definitely something I want to try, something to learn about and practice with. Any other questions or comments for this evening's TechNet, please call now. Hear nothing. I'd like to thank everyone that has checked into this evening's TechNet, and look forward to hearing from you next week. This is Kilo Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo, net control for this evening's Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club TechNet. As a reminder, Wednesday is the club net with early check-in starting at 6 o'clock and the preamble starting at 6:30. Also, don't forget, other than field day coming up this year, we have the WWV event for the multiple days of continuous contacts at the WWV site right just outside of Fort Collins. Something else you can check out on the club's website. With that, like I say, 7-3. Everyone have a good evening. Repeater is open for general use.
Yeah, I'm a little late.
This presentation was brought to you by the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.